port that we're trying to get relocated to Keystone Heights. And we also have the astronaut mover from Cape Canaveral. If you ever visit the Keystone Airport, you need to take the opportunity to go visit the Wings of Dreams. It's an absolute gem of the community. And lastly, I'd like to talk about our community events. Keystone Heights is a community of 1,337 according to the last census. That number grows exponentially during our community events. We host several community events throughout the year. We host parades. We have the Our Country Day Parade. That's the 4th of July celebration. Starts with a 5K run in the morning, 11 o'clock parade, fireworks at night. We have our Christmas parade. We have festivals such as Arbor Day and Halloween. We also do concerts at the beach and then movies at night. When we host these events, our population of Keystone Heights will spike to somewhere around 4,000 people. That's a large spike from 1,337. So what we do, we have to partner with folks like Sheriff Beasley's office, Chief Lauren Mock's office, those public safety officers and DOT to give us assistance in providing a safe environment for those 4,000 people to come and enjoy themselves in Keystone Heights. There's a strong sense of community and veteran pride in Keystone Heights. Our Reese Across America celebration, which is led by Miss Jones. If anyone here knows Miss Jones, she's about that tall, and she's a warm bride from Australia. She will get your attention, and she does an outstanding job of planning these events. We had 125 wreaths on display last year. This year, in our celebration, we have 425, and that number is expected to grow next year. She started a memorial remembrance and the memorial pathway at the City of Keystone Heights Cemetery. It's grown from a handful of attendees to well over 200 this past year. We recently also learned that the Keystone Recreation Association, Mr. Dan Leviduski is on the board, that Keystone Heights has been chosen to host a state baseball tournament for the 9 and under over the July 4th weekend, I believe it is. And that's the first time, if I can remember, that we hosted a state baseball tournament at Keystone Heights. Now, one quick story before I close, and this is an interesting story. I'd like to see by a show of hands, who here in the room has heard of a moon tree before? Okay, I see a couple hands. Well, I asked that question for the simple fact that, believe it or not, Keystone Heights is home to a moon tree. In 1971, aboard Apollo 14, there were 5 species of trees taken as part of that payload to the moon and back. Upon Apollo 14's return, those trees were distributed. Some went to Japan, some went to Brazil, some went to Switzerland, Valley Forge, and yes, Keystone Heights. We have Play Today represented here today, so I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for running the story. Keystone Heights is going to do a rededication next month of the moon tree, and we'd like to make sure everybody is aware of that, and certainly are welcome to come out and celebrate with us on moon tree re-celebration. Now, in closing, I'd simply like to say that Keystone Heights is in great shape both financially and community-wise. It's been my pleasure to be here today in honor of home ground. And those are the things that are happening in our community of Keystone Heights. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to speak to you today, and enjoy the rest of your lunch.
All right, next we have the mayor of Orange Park, Steve Howard.
Thank you, Lester. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Before beginning my remarks, I'd like to introduce our Orange Park Town Council members who are here with us today, and we all have staff members. Would you please hold your applause after I introduce all of them? Please stand as I introduce you. We have Councilman Scott Land up front, Councilman J.B. Renninger, Councilman Eugene Nix. We have Town Manager Jim Hanson, Town Clerk Sarah Campbell, Public Works Director Chuck Pavlos, our Finance Director John Villanueva, our Economic Director T.C. Amato, and our Police Chief, I think he's There he is, Gary Gold. Let's give him These are challenging times, to be sure, and the town of Orange Park has not only survived but made real progress. Many new businesses have or are coming to Orange Park, including Hampton Inn, a 5-story, 110-room hotel on US 17 at Eldridge Avenue, opening in April or May of 2015. The Four River Smokehouse, a restaurant on US 17, opened in November. Dollar Tree, fantastic flooring and training ground. Businesses in the Park Plaza Shopping Center on US 17. The Vino Java Brew House, a wine and tapas bar on Kingsley Avenue. And if you folks haven't been by the brew house, you ought to go on the weekend. They have not only a fine selection of wine, but also some good musical talent. The Urban Bean Coffee Company, a restaurant on US 17, opening soon. I'm not going there. Brooks Rehabilitation, a 10,000 square foot medical office complex on US 17 between Wells Fargo Bank and McDonald's. Construction to begin February 2015. We're very proud of the Brooks project, as many of these others. Collegio at Orange Park, a 100-bed assisted living complex on Kingsley Avenue, just west of Regions Bank. Construction plans are being finalized as we speak. Park Avenue Dermatology on US 17, construction plans in progress for a new administration building at the rear of the existing building, which will include offices for a dermatology residency program. And finally, the former Citgo station, US 17 in Kingsley Avenue, preliminary plans for a new development have been submitted, preliminary plans. Public safety. Orange Park has police and fire EMS departments which are second to none. Response times are quick and officers are polite and professional. Public safety is the key for economic development and serves a vital role in promoting livability and business growth. Economic development. The effort of our building and zoning department along with code enforcement goes beyond bricks and mortar to real quality of life issues. The town council is committed to fair but aggressive code enforcement. The council recently adopted a new chronic property nuisance ordinance in October. This ordinance is a major step forward in enforcement of our town codes and standards. Public Works. We have had a very active Public Works program this year. The capital construction cost for this year, which included 5 major projects, amounted to $2,300,000. Presently, we have 4 additional capital construction projects currently underway at a cost of $1,900,000. Culture and recreation. The town hosts a number of events for all ages, such as the Fall Arts and Musical Festival. Our Fall Arts and Musical Festival this past year, we had over 20,000 people on Saturday attend that event. That's the largest event in Clay County, a one-day event with the exception of the fair. Farmers and Arts Market. We've had real success with our weekend Farmers and Arts Market. Gary Clark Day, hometown holiday at Clark House Park. Local history was preserved with the restoration of the historic pecan shed at the Clark House Park. In addition, the first Orange Park, Florida historical marker was installed at Town Hall Park in May. The T.C. Miller Center and Park was improved with new restroom facilities, exterior building repairs and painting, a new concrete parking lot, and new playground equipment. Schools. Orange Park is home to 3 public schools, 1 new charter school, and several private schools. All residents of Clay County, we need to lend our support and get behind our local schools in the Clay County school system.
Yes.
Town finances. I conclude my remarks with the state of our finances, not because this is the least important, because it is the foundation of our town. Orange Park, like many municipalities, have struggled with municipal finances during the past 5 years. We must find ways to live within our means. Expenses have been cut in many areas, but more need to be cut. Our town council has initiated a public service tax on electricity as an income-producing measure, which will help increase the town's cash flow and help maintain service levels. We are also looking at other income-producing measures for future implementation. As we begin 2015, we are committed to the continuation of programs and services which will provide a safe, healthy, and environmental friendly community. Now, when I started writing this little speech today, it was 11 pages long. It's going to take us 15 minutes. No, you only got 5 minutes. We've got some exciting times happening in Orange Park, and I wish I'd been able to share the other 10 minutes with you. Thank you.
And next we have Mayor of Green Cove Springs, Felicia Hampshire.
Thank you. I'm going to get in the mic so you can hear me, because I can see the folk in the back. They're like, what are they saying? So, you saved the best for last. Either that or you knew I would be fashionably late. So you had me at the VIP table, and initially, because there was nobody there but a few of us, I was a little concerned, but then I sat by Elvis, the guy with his hair slicked back. He's really cute, and instead of him singing to me, he talked to me about chlorine dioxide. Okay, well, moving on. First, allow me to thank the Chamber of Commerce for sponsoring this annual event, which gives local municipalities an opportunity to share with you our vision and successes. It is truly an honor to be here in this setting, even if I am the only Democrat in the room. Allow me to acknowledge our county seat, Green Cove Springs, don't forget that. Our dignitaries. Vice Mayor Royal is not here today, and neither is Mitch Timberlake. But if they will stand, the tables in the center on the right, all of the city employees, Pam, Danielle Judd, Chief Musco, Ray Ray. Y'all can have some. Okay. All right. That is probably the best staff ever, everywhere, anywhere, hands down. All right, so I know I have 5 minutes, and I probably already used 2. All right, 4? All right. What's the punishment if I go over? All right. Sheriff Beasley, I hope you got my back. Okay. As many of you know, because you love visiting us so much, that Green Cove Springs is the county seat. A charming and quaint community nestled along the St. John River, home of, and I know all of you guys here at least know this, Cliff Averill. Yes. Oh, yeah. Number 56 of the Seattle Seahawks, who is a Clay High School graduate like myself, my alma mater. And he's also our Super Bowl champion, recipient of the key. The city of Green Cove Springs gave him the key to the city last year. And it looks like it's going to be a repeat. Yes, I knew that. Okay. So, anyway, either way, as a full-service municipality, we encompass about 6 square miles and serve about 70,000 residents. Sometimes it seems like 100,000, with a workforce of about 100. We operate our own electric, water, and wastewater utility system and provide local law enforcement through our police department, which we are very proud of. Thank you, Chief Musco. And now on to our accomplishments of 2014. Charter referendum, reorganization at Augusta Savage Arts and Community Center in collaboration with the Clay County School Board for summer camp programs, which we had our very first one this last year at the Augusta Savage Arts and Community Center. The transfer of all building permit activities from the county to the city is a good thing because I'm now adding on to my house, and I really didn't have time, Stephanie, to be waiting on the county. And that wasn't a dig, I was just playing. Was a full-time building official who is awesome. His name is Paul, and you cannot have him. We contracted out right-of-way services, prepared a redevelopment plan for a community redevelopment district along our Gateway Corridor and downtown area of US 17. Contract rate of demand with FMPA, which is the Florida Municipal Power Authority, you can't say that too fast, allows us to get another wholesale power provider in 2020. Phase 8A, 64 units in Magnolia Point. Memorial Day and Christmas on Walnut Street celebration. Our first annual Calavita event, which was last year. And I think Calavita means Cove Life, am I correct? Yeah, y'all gotta get a sticker. Vice Mayor Van Royal and his wife, First Lady Sandra Royal, did an amazing job with the help of sponsors and other committee members to spearhead this event. The annual Soul Food Festival, that's my baby, and we have that every year, so I see lots of money in here, I'll be calling you. Green Coast Springs Dragway at Reynolds Park. If you haven't been out there yet, I would encourage you to go. It will bring out your wild side. All right, this is one I call Pam Lewis Baby, and it's the Green Coast Springs Business League. Every third Saturday, market in the park. If you'd like to go out and, rent a booth, just see Pam. She'll be happy to have you. We'll be happy to have your money. And we dedicated, wait a minute, hold on, let me back it up. Gateway and Central Business District Matching Grant for signage, facade, and landscape. Dedication on April the 24th of last year for our new $20 million police facility. Look at your faces, just kidding. I just wanted to see if you were still listening. Actually, it was $5 million, and that includes the land and the building. Okay, so don't get all upset. Engaged state lobbyists, and that was our vice mayor's big deal. Okay, now our 2015 plan. Conversion of former police station, that site in Spring Park, demolish the old former City Hall, redevelop Spring Heading Pool at Spring Park. That's $2.1 million project over a two-year cycle, thanks to the county and state funds. And I have to always remember to say thanks to the county because all of the big dogs are in here. And the regional park concept, public and private partnership near Gustafson's Farm, south of Green Cove, funded by the city and the county funds. Engage public relations and marketing professional on social media. Mitch Timberlake likes that one. And we are very excited about the First Coast Expressway. It finally has a name. And while I'm discussing infrastructural needs, if anyone in this room has any pull at all, can we please have a discussion about, I'm talking about immediately, about doing something with that god-awful, dangerous, scary, even in the daytime, Shands Bridge. Can anybody help us with that? I have had many complaints that people really, truly need to be heard in all sincerity. One really big discussion we're having is the wastewater treatment plant. I guess I'll invite Elvis to come to that. The site and expansion. For project growth, which includes let's see here, Danielle, when you wrote that part, I couldn't read it. Anyway, it's going to be in the Reynolds Park. Get that, Ted, that was for you. Electric code revisions to include residential and commercial rates. Brazilian Recycle Company location in Reynolds Park. See, we're getting folks from all over the world. Orange Park, y'all can't say that, I don't think. July 4th event, I know they're going to kill me when I'm done. The Freedom Schooner docked late February at the city dock. I'm not sure if they're giving free tours or not. I think they want us to give them money. It ain't gonna happen. Drainage, neighborhood projects, MLK Boulevard, Citizen, and Coke Streets are in engineering phase. This wasn't on the list, but we really do need another grocery store in Green Cove Springs. I'm sorry if there are any folk in here from Winn-Dixie that might be offended, but we do need another grocery store. So if anyone can help us out with that, we would certainly appreciate it. And now that the citizens know that they're getting their money's worth out of the city council people, all $4,500 a year, whatever it is we make now, if you have any questions, please ask Danielle Judd. She's the best city manager ever created by the online team. Okay, so here's a plug time. If you're not busy on February the 19th, we, the city of Green Cove Springs, will be hosting the Florida League of Cities meeting at Magnolia Point. So please come join us for the pre-dinner meeting, which begins at 6 o'clock. And we have a new Jamaican restaurant to open in Green Cove Springs on Walnut Street, Mon. And since I'll never look like Diane Hutchings, I had me some jerk oxtails yesterday with red beans and rice. So I think you all need to go check it out. Thank you all for allowing me to be here. Go Seahawks!
Democrat in here, by the way.
Oh, praise God, where are you?
Next, I would like to introduce our program speaker, Ms. Hutchings. She was elected in 1993 to the Green Cove Springs City Council. She served as both mayor and vice mayor. And in 2012, she was elected to the Board of County Commissioners District 3. Okay. She is also the managing director of First Florida's Investment Services. She has been married to Brett for 34 years, has 2 children and 5 grandchildren. The most interesting thing I found that all of her family was born in Clay County except for her. She was born in Oklahoma. So please welcome Diane Hutchings.
It is a pleasure to be here today. Thank you, Leslie, for the introduction, and I just have to take the privilege of a few comments. Want to say that Doug is going to get better, even better. I had 2 children born in Orange Park and 5 grandchildren as of last Friday. So, yay! Don't worry, we visit other ERs and we spread it around. Spread the love. I want to say a big thank you to somebody that made it possible for me to even be on the ballot. And that's the folks at First Florida Credit Union. First of all, starting with, if you wouldn't mind standing up, my CEO, Mr. Brent Lister. He's an awesome leader. And with him today, we have 3 folks who actually live in Clay County that work at our credit union. Miss Libby Polk, who's my vice president, Miss Sarah Bradley, who's the manager of our call center, and Miss Laurie Hurst, who's manager of our Roosevelt branch. It's also good to see at least 2 of my fellow commissioners here, and the others would be here if they could. Well, one of them would. Happy to see Wendell Davis here. He's left me some big shoes to fill, and he usually coaches me after each meeting, so I'm a work in progress. And Commissioner Wayne Bola, as much as it hurts to see some wonderful faces leave like Sharice's, it's been a pleasure to have you join us on the board. And I want to say that I'm privileged to serve with the previous 4 and the present 4. And these folks are all passionate about the job that you've elected them for. And as Leslie said earlier, the kudos are far and few between. But I'm going to tell you, they deserve our gratitude for the leadership they provide to our community. I believe the hallmark of our commission for the last 2 years, not that the school board didn't make this an easy list, but has been that we disagree and then we move on. We show respect to each other in the midst of our disagreements and treat everyone with value, because you know why we have value? Because you sent each one of us there. So there's really no hierarchy among our commissioners. I can't leave our staff out today because I'm going to tell you one of the things that makes our job the most productive and successful as your leaders is Stephanie Kopalousis, our county manager. She was a pleasure, a hard worker, a professional. I kind of like the part where she was the former director or secretary of Florida Department of Transportation. That has been a big lift, so we appreciate that. You wouldn't believe how she dogs them. She actually follows them around and puts signs up of what she wants. Remember the ball game where John 3:16 was in every camera? Well, we needed a bridge in a certain area, and so every time they looked at her, she had a sign that said, bridge, bridge. And then she trained me like a parrot. Whenever I'm around them, I just say, bridge, bridge. Really great marketing strategy there. As we talk today, I reflected back on Sir Winston Churchill, a quote that he was famous for saying, "A pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity, but an optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty." And I stand before you today as a declared optimist. I even have a document to prove it. A few years ago, my dad was undergoing cancer treatment, and it was a scary time for him. And I won't say all men, but many men find it difficult to be a patient. So I called him one day to check on him. Well, actually, when I say I have the document to prove it, he presented me with a certificate that I am the obnoxious optimist. And how I got that was I called him to check on him one day, and when I said, "How are you doing?" he said, "I'm only halfway through the treatment." And my response was, "Wow, halfway down? You only have half to go? You know what, we should plan a party." He said, "Diane, I'm only halfway through the treatment." So you can see that I'm a challenge for those around me that are not optimists. And my comments today will come from the heart of an optimist, and I'm going to begin with what we accomplished in 2014, and I'm going to end with where we're focusing some of our efforts for 2015. Now, 2014 presented some pretty significant progress in Clay County, so feel free to clap, those of you in the room who are optimists, because celebration is our lifeblood. And who knows, maybe some of us optimists will make the day a little easier for those of you who find that you're waiting in difficulty today. We're seeing a dramatic change in the landscape, especially west of Blanding, out where the new expressway is coming in. And that means a great improvement in mobility for our residents, but more important is that it makes us on the map to become a financial hub in terms of manufacturing and high-wage jobs in the future. This is going to take our economy and our families to a whole new level in Clay County and their quality of life. And while I'm talking about landscape, there's some also exciting news about Blanding Boulevard, which has, kind of become the billboard strip of Florida. We passed an amendment back in 2013 to one of our ordinances, and we allowed companies to come in and take down billboards and put up new ones at a very strong ratio, which I'll give you the numbers. Right now, we have permitted 12 billboards to come down. That's a total of 13,120 square feet of reduction. And what's going up is only 4 billboards. 3 of those will be on Blanding, not 4. And the total square footage is 4,410, just under 10,000 that will be replaced. So I think that makes a big deal for Blanding Boulevard and some things we need to get accomplished there. My fellow commissioners and I are very serious about economic development. And let me tell you, my CEO, Mr. Lister, often tells us that what gets measured gets accomplished. So let me share a few metrics with you on some measurements that are significant for Clay County. We currently enjoy an unemployment rate of 5.4%. Our job count reflects a growth of 8.9. That's nearly 9%, or better, 1,441 jobs. And those are really good paying jobs because our average annual wage has increased by over 11%. That's something to get excited about. Our health is improving. Now let me tell you that part of that, and a major portion of that, comes from all the expansion we've seen in the medical community of Clay County. So to each of the hospitals and everyone in here in that community, we salute you and we appreciate you. We rely on the Economic Development Corporation here in Clay County to represent us around the region and to advise us on ways that we can make Clay County a stronger competitor in the region for keeping our businesses and bringing in new ones. Based on recommendations from Mr. Garrison, we made some changes to our incentive plan to allow for incentives on new or existing businesses that make a considerable capital investment in things like equipment. I'm glad to say that Building Component Supply of Green Cove Springs was the first to take advantage of this incentive, and they're bringing on 60 jobs with an average wage of $35,000. That's great partnership with the county. Another Green Cove business that won a big contract from Dell Computers will add 70 new jobs over the next 2 years. Leadership and partnership are the reason that our animal control has reached new heights in 2014. How many dog lovers do I have in the room? Okay. How many cat lovers do I have in the room? Okay. All right. Interesting. Kind of matches my statistics. Back in 2009, we had the not so enviable rate of a 63% euthanasia rate. That's high. In 2014, after changes were made in that department and new leadership was there, our staff was able to report that euthanasia rate was lowered. We just broke these out, but for those of you that love cats, I'm hoping this motivates you. We euthanized 17% of the cats and 6% of the dogs. Now keep in mind, that numbers, we're talking thousands. We had 3,908 animals go through our shelter last year. So we've increased our adoption rate, we've lowered our euthanasia rate, and as if that wasn't enough, another big win this year was they participated in the Rachel Ray National Contest. They took first place and third place in several categories and were awarded $42,000 in cash. Very good. All of these successes are possible because of two things. Our leadership, Mr. Altman took over that department. He hired a veterinarian, Dr. Broadhurst. And when you have good leadership, it leads to amazing volunteers and support. People want to follow good leaders. We now have over 100 people volunteering at the animal control. So, great job. Now, during our budget process last year, we continued to find that our revenue doesn't meet our desired level of service. And as a result of our ad valorem being one of the lowest in the state, coupled with our tax base is also lower due to residential values and limited commercial property, we're at a very basic level of service of what we provide in Clay County. And let me just give you a comparison to provide some contrast. Our ad valorem rate is 7.84, and it funds a $277 million budget. Our neighbors to the east, St. Johns County, has an ad valorem rate of 7.2552. Their budget, $620 million, more than double ours. The interesting thing is they also have about 600 square miles and just around 200,000 residents. So you can see that that ocean makes a big difference. And no, we can't put in an ocean, but we can do something else, and that's take advantage of the expressway that's coming, and that's exactly what our plans are to do. And we will bring in high-wage jobs that will cause everybody, each municipality, each area of the county to prosper. After the planned road projects that were completed in 2013, we had the good fortune of a substantial savings equaling about $20 million. This was achieved through reducing some costs and doing some redesign. These funds are restricted and can only be used for new construction or new equipment. But it was a great windfall. How many of you know that when the economy is down, what do you do at home? You don't trade the car in and get a new car. You make it go a little longer. You know, there's a lot of places like that that you delay your expenses to get by. Well, believe it or not, we've done that almost to a fault in the county. And it's pretty sad what some of our employees have had to work with. So what we're doing now is replacing those pieces of equipment that have outlasted their useful life, and we're deploying some dollars to replace that. And one of our great partners in the community, VACON, is going to make us, well, make our employees really happy. They're going to give us a truck. Well, they're not donating it. I should be careful with that. But they are going to let us buy a truck locally, help our economy, and also give us a really good deal on it. So we want to thank them for helping us out with that purchase, and I'm anxious to see the staff's response when they get that new piece of equipment. Now, later last year, Chairman Davis invited citizens to request funding for projects that could save us money, improve quality of life, maybe even be an economic driver. So we had some really creative projects that came forward out of that. And at this point, what we have set funds aside for is Mayor Hampshire is right. We are going to give you $700,000 toward refurbishing that beautiful historical park. Now, I do have a little bit vested there. Let's see, my husband and I were boyfriend and girlfriend when we were 15. We couldn't drive, so we'd meet at the park. My children played at the park.
That's right.
My son got married at the park. It's a very, very special place. We've had lots of birthday parties there, and there's just nothing like it. It's a beautiful place, so we're excited about that. We've also committed funding for lights at the Oakleaf Baseball Field and the Clay Soccer Club. This will increase the amount of time that those fields can be used and help the kids out there. We're finally well on the road to seeing football and baseball fields on Fleming Island. Those were promises made a long time ago. And for economic development, Pete goes around smiling now because we've given quite a large sum of money to the Clay County Fair so that they can upgrade the fair. That the Clay County Fairgrounds is quite an economic engine, so it was an easy lift. We're investing in something that's already successful and already brings a great deal of outside money into Clay County. Another area that the downturn hit pretty hard was in the area of wages that we're able to pay our employees. One of the signs of an improving economy is that the labor pool starts to tighten and the wages go up. What that has meant for us is we've seen some really high-skilled folks in our public works and in our fire and rescue area, frankly, get recruited away with bigger money. And I don't blame them. You know, we all have to put food on the table. But it is hurting our labor pool in the county. The constitutional officers are going to be embarking on salary surveys for their staff, but we didn't have the money to do that. So we're still looking at how we're going to figure that out. So milestones for 2014 are all really looking good. We've done some really great things, and we see where our shortcomings are. So let's start looking at 2015 and see where we're going. I'm just about done. If you have to leave, I won't take it personally. I've been on a schedule before and had to do that. It's fine. We began looking at our website and we will be rolling out this year our new website. And there's many, many advantages to the new website. I'm going to say this kind of tongue-in-cheek. You're actually going to be able to access it on your mobile device. It's 2015, and we're just now saying that. I apologize. But we are excited that the navigation tools of this website are going to make it much easier to find the things you're looking for, whether it's mosquito control, entertaining commissioner meetings. It's all going to be there. Something that I had advocated in 2008 is the ability for us to go online and register a complaint, or as I like to call it, a request for service, and follow it through as it's automated and being sent to the person that needs to take care of it, and then you can see how it's being done. This will assist us in setting metrics to track our complaints and responses, as well as provide transparency for the public. And again, you can do it from your mobile device, and what gets measured gets accomplished. During our budget session last year, the Commission decided to ask voters for direction on how they would like to pay for services. The vote came back that they support the diversification of revenue, and it's not that we aren't going to have ad valorem, but not putting so much emphasis on that for our revenue, and that passed by 56%. We've scheduled a visioning session for Saturday, February 28th here at the Thrasher Horn. We're going to be working on our vision and mission and service standards for the BCC as well as our staff. We're going to spend some time building consensus around top priorities for 2015 out to 2016. And the workshop, of course, is open to the public, so if you'd really like to come and be a part or just drop in for part of the day, we welcome you. I think a few priorities that you'll see us cover will be how to fund transportation, how to diversify our revenue, where to find the dollars to increase the pay for our employees and maintain our talent pool, how to bring our libraries into this century and make them economically sustainable. That's a heavy lift. And I'm sure Wayne and Wendell will probably have another 20 or 30 items that they'll add to that list. It's exciting to be in Clay County. For myself, I see Clay County moving forward and setting a course that will make our county a better place because we faced the difficulty. We looked it square in the eye and we said, is that all you got? I see Clay County where future business leaders, families, communities are going to look back and they're going to say, right there, 2015, That's where it started. Because of the forethought and the innovation of Clay Countyans, all of you, we enjoy a better Clay County here in 2025, 2035. I want to say what a privilege it is to be a part of your local government, to be involved in a way that hopefully I can contribute and make a difference in the lives of others. My favorite thing to do is to talk about how wonderful accomplishments occur when people work together, and we have many, many examples of that. And I just could not close without saying one final thing. I sure do have a favorite school board member. It's been a great year to see truth rise to the surface and to see that all of our local governments are moving in the right direction. Thank you, and may God continue to bless you, and may God bless Clay County.
Well, I want to thank everybody for those fantastic comments. That was good, and I've already emailed the Gronk to go let the air out of Everill's tires so he can't make the game. Wonderful comments, and I know I'm speaking for Sharice, we had a wonderful time, serving great years, serving with Diane and our fellow commissioners, Wendell. We wish everybody else who's new to office good luck, as it is. Public service is a trying time, a lot of sacrifices, so we appreciate all you do. I also want to say on your tables I put, there's a Scale Up Florida, is the Scale Up Florida lady down here? Just walked out? Or talk to Bob. It's an opportunity, if you meet those requirements for small businesses to apply for SBA grants to get into a year-long education, so it's good to help. So that information is there, and there's other flyers out there. Also SBDC, you'll see the article in the Clay Today, Small Business Development Center, Bob Myers is here. My goal, I'm acting as a facilitator, is to get a full-time small business development center stood up in Clay County, which will help create business, grow business, and create capital investment. So it does three things that will help benefit, and that's all I'm doing is to help facilitate helping the business community. I have to raise $33,000, and I'm almost there with the Jaguars. Like I said, Mr. Khan is all about helping business. CCDA, EDC, Best Bet, and ViStar are all contributors so far, so I'm very close. The information's on your table as well, along with some more flyers. Please see me. Once I get that going, I'll leverage state and federal grants, and we will have a full-time office here that will be at the chamber, but have mobile times down in Keystone, Green Cove Springs, helping the business community grow and helping your entrepreneurs, your friends, people who work in your offices start their own businesses, so it's a great thing. Check out the chamber calendar. We have a lot of stuff coming up, the Cali trip. And I said that you talked about budget. I can't stop wearing my commissioner hat all the time. It's I bring up the agenda, and it's like, oh, they're doing what? But one thing I did see is, if you noticed in the governor's, one of the tax cuts, it talks about communication service tax. That made me go right into commission mode, because it depends on how they approach that, because the communication service tax has a local component to it. That is several $7 million impact to our budget. There's a state and there's a local. So we need to make sure we go with the Florida Association of Counties and make sure if you're going to play with your money, play with your state grant. Don't be messing with the county, because then it takes them right back to the problem that Diane just mentioned. Sorry, I got my soapbox about CST. Sometimes I can't stop wearing that hat, but we just have to make sure that the governor doesn't play with local money. We appreciate all he's doing for us. The new directories are out. Please go back to work. Christine's chair of the board.
Last thing Kelly said was, he's going to wrap up, and I said, so you just want me to pull him off the podium? She goes, that's a possibility. I looked at my watch, and I know it's like 1:32, and I know everybody's going to to work, and if you're a consultant like myself, you've got time that needs to be billed to a client. So, first of all, we want to say thank you very much. If you are an elected or an appointed official, or you work in public service or public health for this county, we want to say thank you. A round of applause right now. To Chad and Orange Park Medical Center, we thank you as always for being a title sponsor, especially to this event and all the other events that you help sponsor throughout the year. So thank you very much. And to all the other sponsors that are listed in the program, Doug read them off earlier. We want to say thank you very much. We could not accomplish almost 300 people came today to this State of the County lunch, and we want to say thank you very much. So a round of applause to each and every one of you. Thank you. And lastly, a thank you to the Chamber staff, Summer, Kelly, Tressa, and those folks, Doug, and Leslie. And all the ambassadors that basically helped out to get us from A to B and back to our tables. Again, it takes volunteers in this organization, and we thank each and every one of you that did actually contribute your time. And thank you very much for coming today to this event.